Is that small talk?
We're back.
Small talk.
Hey, y'all, we're back with another episode of Small Talk. You already know, two queens, two perspectives, one topic. But tonight, we have one king with us. He's a very familiar face. He's family. We got special K.Mims in the building
What
from
up?
Millennial
What up?
World Pod. Go ahead and introduce yourselves for the ones that don't know who you are.
Hey man, I ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy K.Mims. You feel me? I'm with the ladies of small talk tonight, man. We're gonna be off the chain tonight, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm with it. Appreciate y'all having me on though, for real.
Of course, we would not bypass this opportunity to put you on the spot. We're not going to do hot seat tonight. We're going to bring you back another time for the hot seat because you already know that's flaming. But we
Trick
still
bag.
have a couple of questions, a
Yeah.
couple of questions to get you going. We are going to kick it off with our infamous this or that, though. So Asia, go ahead and start us off. What you have?
All right, K Dot. First one, P. Diddy or R. Kelly?
Oh man, like who I'm rocking with? Golly. God, Jesus. Like,
You
like,
don't have to
like,
answer that.
like, oh, but this or that in the sense of like I'm
You
keeping their
gotta pick one.
music. Oh, I gotta say P. Diddy because I ain't R. Kelly was messing with kids.
But it has not been not confirmed that Diddy wasn't either.
Well, in this day, when y'all just asked me this right now, I don't know that he's messing with kids. So I'm going P. Diddy. Like right now in this time, I ain't heard nothing about no kids. I'm going to I'm not picking R. Kelly. I'm not even saying I'm going with Diddy. That's wild.
I the thing is this outside I have to separate them right from what they did in their actions because they're both like terrible, but their
Mhm.
music catalog I gotta go R. Kelly.
Oh, I didn't. So if we talking about that, I definitely would go R. Kelly, but I thought we were talking about what they what they did. I'm like, oh yeah, nah. But if we keep in a music category, I'm keeping. Well, I don't know. I think because the genres they probably could go hit for hit. If you include their music and their pen, I think they could go hit for hit. But I would, me personally, if we're talking music, I'm keeping R. Kelly. If we talking about what's going on right now, he'll mess with kids, man. I'm not with that.
Yeah,
I'm not with that.
that's a tough one. Asia, what you got?
Dang, I honestly did not even expect you to really answer that for real. But
Oh,
since you did, but since you did, uh, dang, I don't know.
oh, I set them up with the setup, baby. Let's get it.
You did.
Yeah.
No, for real. But I'm gonna say that I don't think that they're hit for hit, and I'm only saying that. Well, they're not classic for classic in my head. Only because I feel like I've never heard like P. Diddy at a family reunion. Never heard of him
Stop
like
it.
that. Like I'm serious. More
You
than
heard
R.
Mary J.
Kelly.
Blige?
I don't like her. We all know how I feel about her.
Yeah,
Don't
I
like
did
her.
not. I did not know that. That's interesting. For
Oh,
another day.
definitely not a fan. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
What?
It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. I'm
Okay.
not
Yeah.
really rocking with her. But
I. Wow.
R. Kelly's music, but I'm not like I haven't been able to listen to it the same way though, for real. So
Did
K
y'all
Dot
find
beats
R.
my hands
Kelly a
with
chat?
time.
Did y'all find R. Kelly attractive before he did what he did?
No, never.
attractive
I'm asking.
Yeah.
like physically.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Because I,
Yeah,
I,
like in
I
the
think it's
face.
funny. I think it's funny because a lot of women did, and then he did that, and now they try to act like they don't like him no more. I was just asking.
Man, first of all, they're lying. Secondly, never been physically, and that's my opinion. Let me not do that because I don't. He's he's not attractive to me. I'll leave it. I'll leave it right there. Good old R. Kelly, man. Hey, R. Kelly. Okay. Um, my this or that for you, Keenan, is forget your partner's birthday or forget your anniversary.
Oh, birthday. Hands down. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm picking the birthday because you can kind of recover from a birthday, right? Like you was born before we met. You know what I'm saying? So like your birthday is like one of them things. And then another side of it is like birthdays ain't gonna really. Some people don't even celebrate their birthdays like that. Now, listen, you're asking me which one I have to pick. A lot of people are always like, I'm chilling this year. I'm gonna pick birthday, anniversary. You in a trick bag for the rest of the year? Absolutely not. You miss the anniversary, you might as well get some paperwork signed, drawn up to see which way it's gonna go. I'm not doing that. No,
Really?
Dang.
hell no.
That- that's interesting. I think that's a male, maybe a male perspective almost. And I could be wrong because Asia, you might pick birthday too. But I'm definitely forgetting the anniversary over the birthday. Because I just feel
it,
like
let me just make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying you will forget y'all's anniversary, but remember his birthday.
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
absolutely. Why?
Interesting.
Because
Mhm.
you want a real cliche answer? We
No.
celebrate love every day.
Ah, Lord, let me tell you, Lord, dog.
Boo, boo,
It ain't February.
boo.
This ain't Valentine's Day. I'm trying to
Get
get
out of
it right.
Whatever.
here.
What you got,
That
Asia?
mature love out of here. Um,
Hey, just so
I'm
you didn't say anything
saying,
though.
yeah, I'm gonna say right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, I would forget anniversary. And I'm not rocking with I'm not rocking with what you said, boo. But I'm just saying that for me, it's because my birthday, because I'm thinking about I would not want them to forget my birthday because my birthday is all about me. The anniversary is about us. I no, don't forget me. I
Oh, okay.
don't want like I get it's like yeah, for me it's more of like a selfish thing.
So my me in my personal situation, my wife is a more we person. She celebrates the we moments more than the her moments. So in context of that, if I was to forget a birthday, I don't think she would trip as hard if I like was like, oh damn, you know what? Happy anniversary. Oh, that damn, it was yesterday. Nah.
Hmm.
Fuck around. Think I
Ooh.
don't, she might think I don't love her no more.
Oh,
Nah, we ain't even doing
Just
that.
drop the
Nah,
papers. Yeah, that's
nah
okay. That's I get that though.
I've
Um,
I've slipped up on a birthday before.
yeah, but birthdays are so I like to see my person happy, right? So I feel
Mm,
like if you're taking a moment to celebrate that person, I would rather forget an anniversary where we can do that. And in my mind, yeah, you're celebrating a milestone, but you can really do that anytime versus birthdays. And you can celebrate somebody individually anytime too, I guess. But it's more so like celebrating their life, their presence, like you're acknowledging them individually and not an us thing. That's why I
mm.
would say that that's more important to me. I mean, I don't
That's
that's
what's
just
up. I
hmm,
don't want that smoke.
I get that. That's I get that,
Nah.
Britt. All right, Keenan. K dot, my bad, my apologies, sir.
Stop.
Um
Hey yo, hey, we not doing this, yo. We not doing this, yo. We not doing this, yo. I'm telling you right now. We ain't doing this, man.
excuse
She
me.
called it
so would you
Keenan.
rather have universal respect from everyone or unlimited power?
I will definitely go. It's weird because I feel like with power come respect, but I'm not like so the unlimited power part is weird because that's like I don't know what I would do with all of it, but I'm only going to pick that because I feel like respect comes along with it. You know what I mean? Like you could be respected and not really be able to make things move like that. And power to
Mhm.
me is like one of those things where it's all about how you handle it. You know what I mean? Like if you have power and you misuse it or you mishandle it or it's internalized another way, it'll be bad. But like I feel like I can have unlimited power, be respected, and still move how I move because I don't need the other stuff that comes along with it. So I will pick power because you're typically respected when you have it. Me personally.
That's a good answer.
Mhm.
Okay.
What you saying, Britt?
Um, now that Keenan has explained it that way.
She can't go after me no more, bro. That's crazy.
No, but no, I my first choice honestly was respect, only because I'm huge on respect and I'm not really big on power moves. Like I don't like having full control or power when I hear the word power over people. Like
For sure.
I like
Mhm.
input from other people. I'm more of a team player than a power driven person.
Mhm.
But you gotta have respect regardless in either one. So respect would definitely dominate the power thing for me.
For sure. Okay.
Mhm.
Asia?
Yeah, I'm going with respect too. Um, just because it's respect by everybody, right? So whether it is somebody that is like super powerful, and I'm thinking of even like in the workplace, I feel like sometimes having to work so hard for things because you literally have to like that earn that respect or all the things like, no, I'm walking in the door and you're already respecting what I'm coming with, my credentials. I don't have to prove anything. Even as simple as like, I can't stand it. If I say
Mhm.
good morning to somebody and they do not say good morning back, I'm irritated. Because what was so hard about like, and you see me, like, what was so hard? You just say good morning.
I think
Stuff,
those
little
times
stuff
are
like
dying
that.
though.
What people saying
Or
good
people
morning
saying good
back?
morning.
Age, I want you to finish. I'm not trying to.
Go
No, because
ahead.
now I want to know.
I think the dynamic of generalized, I don't, that's not chivalry, but like generalized greetings or like like generalized acts of respect are dying. Like shaking people's hand, looking them in the eyes. COVID killed that, right? Like saying good morning because everybody's an introvert now and they don't like to be bothered until a certain time. Like I feel like that there's no mutual. It's like code is dying. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no code to anything anymore. So I don't feel like people abide by those same rules. I'm the same way. I say good morning to everybody, right? But like even when I walk in a building and there's young individuals around me, I still speak. It's nothing back from adults. I just feel like we live in times where nothing's like mutual anymore. If I ask you what respect is, ask Brittany what respect is, and then we ask somebody else, you're going to get four different answers. It's not going to be like anything that's similar. And I think once upon a time, it was like, no, you walk in a room, you speak to people. Like
Mhm.
I think you would have got that same answer from most of us when we were younger. That's dying out
Mhm.
now. It's not like that. Now it's like, oh, one person to say if they speak to me, I'll speak to them. One person say like, oh, you got to talk to me in the right tone. Another person to say like, don't speak to me before 10 o'clock. Like it'd be like, bro, it's a good morning. It's not that deep. That's what I mean.
That's
I
true.
think those things are dying.
Mhm. Do you think
Mhm.
that there's opportunity to have another like universal way of doing things, like moving into, because it has been cut off at like the millennials, right? Like the Gen Zers
Mm-hmm.
are more kind of following the spectrum that you just talked about. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that we have a universal way to acknowledge each other or have respect, quote unquote?
Yes, but I don't. I'm more so. I think. Well, this is going to sound crazy. I think possibly when our kids are graduating high school or we're on the brink of becoming like grandparents, I don't think that generation of like our kids, those kids that graduate with them and beyond, they will have it. I think we're just in a gap of, I hate to say this, but like
Mhm.
flushing out certain, like this was a trend. This generation has a lot of trendy things with it that's going to eventually flush out because it's not, a lot of their things is not sustainable. Like a lot of the things that's around right now is just not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about all the things that's super popping right now, it was like the internet, right? We were all born when the internet first came out. It got super popping. You look at like social media and all these things, like those things are stay, but like this, I don't want to get educated on anything. Start your own. Everybody wants to be on. Those things aren't sustainable for a society to keep going. Everybody can't be the entrepreneur. Some people have to get jobs. Some jobs require a certain level of education. So, like, I think what they're doing is like trial and error, and eventually it'll flush back out because you see most people
Mhm.
being successful have one of those two things. They have an education, they have experience, or they have a sustained business. And I think people want to skip and get to that. So it doesn't work like that. That's my
Mhm.
personal opinion.
No, I think that's good. And I even saw this video recently because what you're talking about, there's us, the millennials, then you have Gen Zers, and then you have Generation Alpha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which are the children of most millennials.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this video and it was this Gen Zer being like, y'all, like we need to team up with millennials now because the generation under us, like they're just like, we don't get them and all this stuff. And then a bunch of millennials are responding like, Yeah, because we're raising them.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all are like the Gen Zs, y'all just radicals for real. But
Yeah,
we are now as millennials, we're like raising our kids with the same like, no, y'all are gonna have manners, y'all are gonna have respect, y'all are gonna be doing certain things. There's a certain structure that I think millennials are definitely giving to their kids, which is gonna be the Generation Alpha.
for
So,
sure.
or which is Generation Alpha. Ooh, we okay. Well, the time has come. We're gonna get into some real questions. Um, and Britt and I were therapists, right? And so this is not really the hot seat, it's more like the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And so welcome to the couch. And
Thank you.
first question, what motivates you?
Uh, y'all trying to make me sound bad up here. So it's
Gosh.
twofold. It's twofold. I think I am extremely motivated by representing my mother the right way because she's not here.
Mm,
I think a lot of the things for me is like I just want people to see what I've done and know it be a reflection of what she put in me. So I think that's a really big motivating factor for me. That's the reason why I won't do certain things, move a certain way, not disrespectful person. Because I feel like even though they may not know her, everything that I do is tied back to her legacy. So that's one of that is probably number two motivating factor. Um, you know, I, my family is my family is my top motivating thing, but like that's intrinsic though. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to go look at them and put a battery in my back because they're also a part of her legacy. So it's kind of like twofold, you know what I mean? And representing her and everything I do. Like and I don't say it as much as I used to, but if I'm being really, really transparent, like what she represented to me, I owe my life to show people even with my kids, right? Like when they see what daddies did, I can always refer back to what their grandmother put me. She showed me this way. So that's really the thing
Mhm.
that makes me move a certain way and try to get to a certain level for real.
mm, that's good. That's good. I was
That's
not
good.
expecting that, right? I think this is probably one of the realest moments we've had and moving forward, even the questions that we have tonight, we're moving away from the fun and more serious. So we ask and hope that you continue to share and be vulnerable. But we also want to thank you for doing that too, because
For sure.
it takes
Mhm.
some stuff to kind of do some of that. Asia, answer your own question. What kind of motivates you? Asia.
I don't know why my head. I'm like, yeah, let's decide K dot. K dot Mims. But I really think that for
You gonna troll
me,
me all night, bro.
Yes.
all night. Oh, I
Yeah,
really am.
I know.
But I think something that motivates me is just wanting to do better and be better. Um, and like just hearing like a lot of and being able to see like my great grandmother, right, and the things that she did, and then being able to see my grandfather, the things that he did, and my father, um, and my dad, like he always just says like, you got to be better than me, you got to be better than me, right? And so I think with taking similar to what Keenan said, to be honest, like with taking some of the things that my dad and just my family instilled in me, and y'all already know a lot of it has to do with like my Christian belief system. But like really, really wanting to just do better and be better for myself. Because I think sometimes what motivates me is like when I feel like I'm backed up against a wall, and it's like, okay, how am I going to get out of this? Like, what? I cannot stay here. And so I think I've always had the mentality of like, I cannot stay here. Even if I'm feeling comfortable or good, it's like, I cannot stay here.
Mhm.
So just knowing, I think what motivates me is just like the journey of life. And I've said this a couple times. Um, I just love the idea of the human experience. And so I think another thing that really motivates me is wanting to be able to say that I've experienced the full human experience, whatever that means for me in my journey. Um, and so yeah, so being able to say that I did that.
All right.
Ooh,
What about you, Britt?
that's dope. Mine is simple. Shout out to both of you because both of those are great,
Hmm.
very great answers. Seriously. Uh, I'm simple. I've always been a giver. So for me, it's just making a difference, knowing that I'm making a difference in people's lives, the people that are around me. Even in when I started college, I was in undergrad, I was, what was it, like health sciences, a health sciences major, because I just swore up and down I was going to be a nurse because I'm helping people back to life, whatever. But then I leaned into psychology and social work because I'm like, wait a minute, like this is more impactful. This is more, granted, nurses, shout out to nurses, they save lives. But the impact that you're causing as a social worker, and there's so many things you can do with that in terms of just equitable resources for people in your community and things like that. Like that's the type of things that I like to tap into. So just knowing that I'm making a difference, something as small as my kids loving their mom is not aligned as I think I should be as a mother sometimes, but just hearing them saying like, "You're the best, mommy," or just whatever, that motivates me because I know that I am making a difference when I see those type of outcomes. So short and
That's what's
sweet.
up. That's what's up.
Okay,
Yeah.
Keenan, K Dot,
Yo,
me,
I'm
all of the above. How do you handle setbacks? And boy, when I answer this question, I need you to be realer than real because we've had this conversation plenty. How do you handle setbacks when the vision isn't panning out the way you originally intended it to?
like outwardly or inwardly or both.
Oh,
So I think that I have a very rigid way of thinking, right? And I think that I've been through enough, I've seen enough and got through enough to like adapt. And I think my number one issue, I literally just talked about this yesterday. I mean, on today on a thoughtful Thursday, is like I go inward and figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think the hardest problem I have is like when the vision doesn't, I understand flexibility through my vision. And I think when things happen, and if I'm working with people and they don't understand it, I don't see how you don't get it. And I don't do a good job of like always outwardly expressing when I'm figuring it out. So once it's figured out, I come back and try to explain the process, but it's not relatable because nobody saw me go through it or nobody saw me figure it out. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is like I don't rush my process. And since I don't rush my process, I'm able to process very quickly. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you just keep going. Like you can't stop. Like stuff. I'm sorry. Stuff is gonna happen regardless of things, and I just push forward. And if you with me, you with me. If you're not, you're not. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know no other way to think. And I'm getting to a place where like I'm not gonna try to think no other way because I think it's yielded success. And I don't think I turn people off by doing that. Um, but
do you feel like, or has there ever been a time where people have stood in the way of your vision, right? Or maybe they didn't get it or didn't align with what they were thinking.
mm,
Have you had to cut people off in order to move forward?
for sure, because I think I've always been one. So I'm realizing this about myself, right? Like y'all got me going there. I'm realizing that like, potential is just me projecting what I believe I could do if I was in somebody else's shoes. So I think a lot of times the people that, quote unquote, get in the way, like I envision them being able to do something that they may not be able to do, but I hope they could. But yeah, I had to get to a point where I had to be cut off. Like one of my business ventures before everything I'm going now, like I brought something to my bros. You know what I'm saying? And then when I brought it to them, I had a vision for it. I was like, yo, let's rock, let's roll. The shit didn't pan out because like they didn't understand where I was trying to go or what I was trying to do. But at the end of the day, it got to a point where I had to cut them off because I had to cut the hand to save the arm. You know what I'm saying? But I think the hardest part in that was just realizing that it's not always meant for people to understand the vision, but understand their role in it. Because everybody's not a visionary.
Hmm. Well said. I have no comment. Asia,
Let the church say amen.
Yeah, man, yeah, go
No,
ahead, man.
for real, because you're absolutely right about everybody not being a visionary, right? And I think
Mhm.
like when you have too many hands in the pot or too many seats at the table with all this unnecessary, oh, I think we should do this, but you do this, and it's altering what you've already seen for
Mhm.
your project or your vision, your whatever it is. It brings in chaos. And
Yeah,
if you don't, if you're not a type of person, even a leader, as a leader, if you're not a leader that can um handle conflict resolution with those type of people in general, excuse me,
yeah,
you're gonna be battling it out with those people. Okay, you got to go cut you off or whatever. Or some people may get really upset. Your project is failing, and then next thing you know, like you didn't implement what you thought you were gonna put out, and it just sucks because sometimes we work really hard and we see things a whole different way. That's why it's so important for I believe in like the right connections with folks and having them at the
for
table
sure.
and their input. Because it's just an important key factor to have.
And I will add this. I think that's a blessing and a curse for me. Like that's one thing I haven't experienced. I've experienced something not working out, but I don't really take my eye off the prize though. And that's what makes my thinking so rigid because I'm just like, yeah, nah, I'm not about to do that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
upset a lot of people for.
They could be mad.
Yeah.
Roll
Very
us,
good.
roll us to the-
What'd you say, Britt?
Go ahead. I said roll us into the next one.
Oh, okay. So speaking of like setbacks and those types of things, like after having a breakdown in like a friendship or even with a family member, how do you reestablish those connections and bonds?
Um, so I think one of the biggest things, so if I backtrack, like I've always dealt with like abandonment issues from my pops when I was younger, right? So to give context to where how I navigate most breakups, being young dude, single mom, most of my coaches, male teachers will talk about how great of a person you are, how great of a young man you are. But in my mind, I'm like, y'all saying that, but the person, first of all, let me give this guy, me and my pops close now. You know what I'm saying? This is when I was
Mhm.
younger. But you know, I think like a lot of the abandonment came from like the person that had me doesn't feel that way. Even though he did, I wasn't feeling it when I was younger, right? So fast forward now, I think my biggest thing is like I sit in my feelings, bro. Like I'm not one of those dudes that's not going like if I go through a breakup, friendship, whatever the case may be, I'm going to talk about it to whoever's in my corner a lot. I'm going to get my feelings out. I try not to, drench the people I trust in my emotions, but I only have those emotional moments, deep emotional moments, maybe once, twice a year. It ain't nothing crazy like that.
Mhm.
It got to be something really big. But I just sit in there and bask in it, man. And I just and I'm not trying to sound cliche, but like I just thank God that God has given me the ability to have a strong tolerance for certain things. So like when a breakup to me is like a lot of it I be seeing coming. It's just I didn't believe that it would happen that way. So when it happens, it's more like, damn, okay,
Mhm.
it's here now. How do I get past it? You know what I mean? And I'm willing to have conversations with people. I'm willing to feel my feelings. But I think the biggest issue I run into, transparently speaking, is like I be knowing how I be feeling. And most of the time others don't. And it's uncomfortable for me to know how I feel. And you can say something. I'm like, that's not changing the way I feel though. Like we can get
Mhm.
past I can understand where you're feeling. I can understand how I'm feeling, but that's not going to change something of the past. So I sit in my feelings, I process it, and after that, it's day by day, man. Because like I'm gonna say something that's just gonna sound bad. Like to me, like I lost who I lost who mattered most to me. So breakups now ain't really a thing for me. It's like okay, it hurt, it bothers me, but we gotta move on.
Mhm.
How long do you sit with it? Like how long would you say that it takes you to get over a breakup or like a breakup of a friendship or whatever?
If I'm being real with you, I don't think I get over it. You learn to live without that person. You know what I mean? Like one of my bros that I no longer talk to, he was my guy. We not cool no more. We won't be cool. It's okay. I still love him, but like I don't think I've completely gotten over it because I'm not going to erase those memories we had. So when I'm
Mhm.
hanging with all of us who used to hang with somebody, if those emotions are provoked, like you deal with those moments, right? You live with having to forgive somebody every time that thought or action comes up. I think the thing is I'm not one to say to act like I'm not willing to erase my memories to say I'm over someone because the memories are more valuable than me holding on to a grudge. So
Mhm.
I operate in acknowledging the memories. I'm glad I'm a smile because it happened, not cry because it's over type guy. Um, but you know, I've never had a breakup. If I consider it a breakup, I can't say I'm completely over it. I just kind of learn how to live and navigate after it, if I'm being real.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I mean, I don't know. I guess I've had some close friends
Mm-hmm,
that we're no longer friends anymore.
mm-hmm,
And although we have those memories, I've completely erased like everything about that person.
mm-hmm.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear you when you say like, yeah, I just learned to live without them. Like, nah, I'm living without you. Like, I don't care. Type thing.
Golly.
And it could be, right? It could be how things happen or
Mm-hmm,
what the person did to you and how you're trying to move on and stuff like that. But there's some people and then I also think like it made me realize, was this person even a friend to me? Right?
mm,
Were we just
Mm-hmm.
living in this fairy tale fantasy for 5, 6, 7 years
for
because we
sure.
were complacent with our relationship? And then boom, something happened, and it's like, oh, you showed your real colors. Is this really truly who you are? And it
Mm,
never aligned
Mm-hmm.
with anything that was going on in my life. You were simply seasonal. And that's how
mm,
I'm able to like push them out of my brain. But it's interesting to hear you say um that you kind of learn like the memories don't fade for you. And I love that because that means that there was a bond, a genuine bond there where you guys created experiences. It's just that time came where you had to part ways, but
for
there's
sure.
no love lost type thing.
For
Um,
sure.
which is a very mature. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people
And,
don't go.
and, and I think,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, AJ, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm. Go go.
And I was gonna say, I think the other side of it, I've never had a breakup where proximity wise, that person is not like 6 degrees of separation. You know what I'm saying? Like most of it, proximity wise, is still close but far type deal.
Yeah.
But even with that, I'm just not. I struggle really bad because I ain't never really had bad blood with somebody before. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never had like oh nah, bro, you over there, I'm over here. And when I
Mm-hmm.
experienced it, like y'all, like when I experienced, I think the friendship that taught me how to reconnect was me and Dot because we fell
Mm-hmm.
out so bad and got back closer than we originally were. But
Mhm.
if we would have never fell out, I never would have think we'll be as close as we are now
Mhm.
because it just exposed that it can happen and it showed two dudes who wanted to be friends. And I think a lot of times when people, break up, so to speak, like you don't know if both parties still want to be cool. It's usually one person pulling back, one person saying yeah, the other person saying no. And I'm saying that to say that's probably the only true relationship that was at complete odds. And if you see us now, if we didn't tell you, you couldn't tell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where like I've never dealt with it where I had bad blood with someone still. You know what I mean? Because I
Mhm.
don't really, you know, do stuff like that where people gotta be like, oh nah, bro, we not rocking for real.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's a great perspective. Going back a little bit,
Mm,
similar to what Bert was saying. Like I'm the type of person that it's like out of sight, out of mind, like for real, for real. And I don't even do it all the time intentionally because like there are people like I think about like my roommate from college. I love her. We did not have a falling out. We never had an argument. That was my girl.
mm-hmm,
But and mind you, we're from the same town, right? But like
mm-hmm,
just as we got older, there's some memories I totally forgot. Like completely forgot about. It feels like summer college was like a blur, right? Even though in college we were like, if you saw her, you saw me. And so it's like it's I don't know where that starts from, where that stems from, but sometimes I don't even do it intentionally, but it really is out of sight, out of mind. But then there are also times that it's like I've if they no longer serve me, and not
Mhm.
serve me like, but just serve just who I am, who I'm becoming,
Mhm.
then for me it I never asked if we were genuinely friends, right? I think a lot of people do that. I have friends that will say that about other friends, right? But for me, because it usually is like, no, like we were really cool then.
Mhm.
Um, and for that time frame, right? But and also there's parts of this person that I don't feel like I need to tolerate, that I'm rocking with anymore. And then like, but still being grateful, like you said, for the time that they were in my life.
For sure.
Um, but thinking about, and something that you said earlier and with B dot, like thinking about how you were able to reconnect and reestablish that friendship and even further. So even earlier you said like at one point you and your dad were not cool, right? And now you're like, nah,
Mhm.
like we have like a good relationship now. Like how are you even able to do that?
So not buzzworthy. A lot of therapy. There was one point in the pandemic, I was in therapy 4 times a week for about 4 months.
Wow.
Because me and my homeboy that just fell out. Me and Dot weren't talking. Pandemic was going. My
Mhm.
wife just had my son going through postpartum, and I was a new dad. Um, I did that though. I did that because it wasn't therapy for me specifically. Wasn't like a figuring it out thing. I needed a place with no judgment. I didn't really want the I didn't want to dump on people that that would that honestly couldn't handle it because the pandemic was heavy on everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I also needed somewhere where I needed somebody to tell me if I was tripping because I needed to be able to fix it. You know what I mean? And it was just a grief storm. It was a lot of transitions. You know what I mean? Like you in the house going crazy. You don't know if outside is ever going to open back up. You got this baby that's crying all the time. You got and I'm not being funny, ladies. I got my wife who like happy at breakfast, mad at lunch, happy again back at dinner. Like I don't know what's going on there. Um, and I was just I was in it for like for like 3-4 months straight because I didn't know how to handle I didn't know how to handle giving my like 25% to each of these things. I'm an all or nothing type guy. So when I was dealing with grief on all these different levels, I had to attack it. It was like each month was a releasing point for each thing. I had to get my house
Mhm.
first straight. I had to figure out how to support my wife and make sure I was doing my things for my dad. Then I had to figure out me and my homeboy, even though we don't speak, I had to figure that out because I was grieving not, moving forward, we wasn't gonna be cool anymore. Me and Dot fell out. I'm like, damn, we were trying to talk, but it wasn't working. So I had to deal with that. So each month was just kind of like, nah, like I gotta figure this out. And y'all know me by now. Like once I try to figure something out, I'm not gonna stop until I do. And that's what therapy was for me. So once I got the tools, and it was just like my therapist was just like, Keenan, you can be emotionally arrogant sometimes. And the number one thing that I really, really learned is that just because she used to always tell me, just because you understand the situation and see it coming, you can't react like it's happened, like it's already happened. So because I saw a lot of things and I knew it was about to happen, I didn't give people the grace or the opportunity to act on it. I would try to stop it before it happened, or I'll react too quickly because I knew it was about to happen, trying to be right and validate my thought process. And in reality, it wasn't that. Like me knowing or understanding that this train is coming 100 miles per hour, I'm not going to go put a whole bunch of bricks on the track. You know what I mean? I'm just going to get out the way
Mhm.
and make sure when it passes, I'm still good. So I just learned that like my thoughts and my feelings or things are just that. I don't try to intrude on people's processes. I don't try to intrude on people's um livelihood or tell them what to do. I'm not a fan of
Right.
unsolicited advice. And when I set boundaries for myself, I was ready to reconnect with people because I wasn't trying to change them or get them to see where I was coming from. I felt
Mhm.
long-winded right there.
No, but that's good. I
Uh,
felt like that was an entire self-reflection piece. Um, and it takes again, excuse me, sometimes we have to sit back and really understand what's happening, like what's happening before us. I think a lot in the pandemic, that thing showed so much to everybody. I don't care who you
For
are, what
sure.
part of the world you were in, you experienced some sort of feeling of anxiety, depression, loss,
Right.
something, right?
That's true.
Clicked on your TV, there was somebody was dead, or millions, thousands at a
Oh,
time
dead.
were dead.
Yeah.
And you
Mhm.
literally had to process, like, if I step outside, the wind blows, am I gonna die too? Right? Like that's how urgent the matter was at one point. So
For sure.
I think it's good, Keenan, for you to have gone through what you did. And I'm a COVID mama too.
Mhm.
So and you on the other side, right? Like
Yeah.
as husband trying to support the
Oi.
mom moments. That's a lot in
Oi.
itself. And losing friends and or trying to understand friendships and then understand yourself and doing the self work. Shout out to you for doing that, because
For
there's
real.
some people in 2020 that are still figuring it out. And no,
So
nothing. Keep going, y'all. But shout out to you for having that self-reflection moment and understanding what that looks like.
appreciate it.
Last question.
For sure.
This is going to shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
We all know, well, if you listen to Millennials vs. the World podcast, where our lovely Keenan is the host, you will know that he got married at a very young age, and had his kids later on down the line. So my question to you is, do you feel like you missed out on something because you got married young?
So like this will sound so crazy. Originally no, because it was like that young dumb, like, oh shit, I love her. Let's get married, girl. And then once I did it, it was kind of like you go through this and I'm like, damn, like everybody graduated college and they, wilding out in the club every night. You start to feel that way then. But I always knew this. I was never even when I was in my prime, you understand what I'm saying? I was never a super wild be everywhere with everywhere type, every woman type guy. I was never that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I knew I wasn't ever going to be this. Wasn't going to deal with all the headaches. Not trying to be funny. Like, I'm just not him. So when we first got together at A&T, it was smooth. When I got up here and it's a vibrant city, and I'm in a career, I'm the young guy on the block, and it's like, damn, like all these people doing all this stuff. Like, damn, I want to be outside all the time. Well, hey, bro, y'all got to come up here and da 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 da. And then, like, when I realized that, as I was trying to, I never did nothing reckless, but as I was trying to be outside and do all those things, like when I saw how like I couldn't be in both places. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't build this and be in both places. I couldn't build my marriage and be outside. You just can't. There's no way to do it. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, yes, I did feel like I missed out very small window, maybe a year and a half. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I started early, 13, 14, 15. I was doing all those things. So when I got 21, 22, the same things that most people go towards, I had kind of already done at that point. You know what I mean? But I always tell people, if I would have had my kids younger, I wouldn't be this dad. You know what I mean? I sat for a long time and watched my friends have kids at a young age. And I just like, I was out being, when I say out being wild, like my wife was with me, but it was just like, we'll party. Like I could go do all this. And they were like, then we got to find a sitter. I knew I didn't want that. You know what I mean? And now let's be transparent on the flip end. Most of my friends' kids are grown, right? But I knew that if God would have gave me and my wife kids early, we wouldn't be married now. There's no way we would have been married at all. No way, hands down, no, it wouldn't have happened. Because I simply wasn't ready. You know what I mean? And I'll leave the marriage thing with this. I think that one of the biggest transition points in me and Brittany's marriage was, I never forget this. This is real. I've never told this story publicly. Like one of the biggest transitions was, she gonna kill me. Like, we was cool. You know, I always a good dude. You know, I ain't want to be arguing. I ain't gonna be doing all the fussing and fighting, yelling and cussing, none of that. And her family would praise me. Everybody, yo, man, Keenan this, Keenan that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah. But she ain't feel that way. I had bought into the like 50-50 thing. I'm doing my part, like da 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 da. And you know, we were disagreeing at the time. And she was just like, damn, I feel like a roommate in here. And it hit me like, damn, bro, like, how you feel like that? And I'm like, here I am 27 to no, I think I was older. I think because Cameron was born. I was like 28, 29. So it was like, and that's why I always tell people, me and her been married at a high level for this is right before I went into that therapy stint I told y'all. So
Mm-hmm.
she said that, and I was just like, literally, like, how the fuck you feel like that? We got a crib. I'm making all this bread. Like, I ain't doing nothing crazy. All these people doing these things. And she was just like, no, you are. You're a really great person. You're a great husband. You're a great dad. I still feel like your roommate. I was like, damn, how?
Yeah.
And it made me dig. So if I would have went through that moment at 24, 25, roommate who? Yeah.
Mm.
Because I wouldn't have faced it.
That's real.
Yeah. Because I would have been feeling myself too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, been in my career since I was 22. Always been making a decent amount of money. If you would have told me that young, I'd be like, I'm a catch. You feel like a roommate? That's what would happen. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just able when she did that. I almost wanted to cry right there. I'm like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the things that it kind of solidifies. And what I always give her credit on, if anybody's listening to this, like, know this. Like, you got to get with somebody that will get in the ring with you. Marriage is about people that will get in the ring and fight with you. Doesn't matter how much you love them. Doesn't matter what y'all have together. The number one thing me and my wife did was get in the ring and fight for what we wanted. So when we went through that, we had some real conversations, some tough shit. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, like, we got through it. That's why we locked in like we are now. Because we had to go there in order to get here.
And I commend y'all. First, listen, I'll share my little 2 cents. When I first met your wife in North Carolina, the vibe was anybody that can see y'all together. I'm like, oh my God, look at that. Look at Black love, right? The perfect example of Black love. And I'm sure it took time to kind of build that, but you could see it. And once other people can notice that, especially, people that haven't known y'all for a very, very long time, but can actually see it as soon as you walk into the room, that means you guys are doing something right. So shout out to both of you, of course, for doing that. I think what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is really and truly, you didn't miss out on much. You just did the things with your wife.
For sure.
It could have brought a different dynamic, right? Doing things with your boys could be a little different than doing things with your wife, depending on what you're doing. But it wasn't much that you felt like you missed out on.
I think my missing out was having responsibilities and having to spend a lot. I don't think my missing out is like what everybody else's was. Mine was like, I graduated A&T August 5th, moved August 12th, started teaching August 16th. Went from making $14 an hour to $50,000 a year in like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So like, my missing out was like not being able to do the like, oh bro, like, let's go to LA and having it, but being like, nah, I'm gonna chill because you know what I mean? And y'all got me talking, man. And I'll be really real. I went through a mean period of resentment when I moved up here because my mom had just passed a year before. She told me we always knew we wanted to move up here. But when we did it, I dealt with a lot of like, damn, you got me here away from my friends, like da. Like, that's where a lot of the missing out came from. Because I was, I graduated college, got married, moved away, and lost my mom and my grandfather all in the same year. So all those transitions came out as resentment. So that's what made me feel like I was missing out on just hanging out with my friends. It wasn't necessarily on no recklessness. It was just like being able to make the decision for myself Friday night. No, I'm not going home. I'm gonna go to J House like I used to. So that resentment set in, and that made me like not the same person for a little while. So that was the thing.
Oh, that's good that you're like able to even reflect on that, right? And I think even being able to say yeah, like it wasn't the same as everybody else, but it still looked this way for me, right? It still was, because I think that sometimes when people see, and we talk about this even when we talk about like the strong friend, right? So when people see like the Black love couple and the couple that's like, yes, like it's like on one hand, it's like, yeah, like that's true. And on the other hand, I think it's like, but these are the things that it takes, right? So it is going through those
For
seasons
sure.
of like, I had to deal with myself and also had to deal with another person and
Mm.
For
also
sure.
had to think about all these other things in the transitions. But all in all, I appreciate just you just really being like just open with us, and just being vulnerable, right? And I know that you didn't get a chance to be in the hot seat, but like I said before,
I'm pretty sure it's
you were
coming.
on the couch. You're on the
Yeah.
therapy couch.
I take it. I take it.
Little different vibe, but we appreciate you. And this has been another episode of Small Talk. You already know, two queens, two perspectives, one topic. And tonight we have the amazing Keenan K.Mims, K period dot, whatever your heart desires in the moment.
For
We
sure.
appreciate you. And we will see y'all on the next episode. Bye.
Yeah.